pick up a bunch of Dragoons, then Stats is going to be in rough shape. BBL is going to need to reinforce with a lot of tanks to be able to get his tank number back up because he doesn't have very many tanks right now, just up to 2 or 4. He might have a couple more coming. I think he only has 2 machine shops. So kind of light on the tanks and heavy on vultures and mines right now. I think what Stats needs to do is get a couple zealots into shuttles and start dropping zealots on the tanks. There are a couple mines near the back tanks, and if a couple zealots would drop there, then those tanks will go down really quickly, at which point there will only be 2 tanks left for BB-Young's push, and he's going to have to pull back at that point, or just risk losing his entire army. He's throwing a couple vultures up towards the third base from Stats right now, trying to pick at that wall and be able to get in there while the tanks are kind of cutting off reinforcements. At the same time, a dropship's going to be going up to try to drop a few vultures into that base and start picking at the probes.
Yep, that job is very, very good for Boyan here. He will be able to shut up the space and he will be able to save time. He doesn't have to push up the space, he can just go for a natural expansion. But when an engagement happens, Boyan have all his vultures just glitching around in the back. And his tanks just get picked off one by one, and then the carriers has finally came, but no Goliath. Can you believe it? No Goliath for Boyan. He has upgraded the Charon booster upgrade, but he doesn't build any the Goliath, so that's very weird. And then no third base coming off of Boyan, who looks like he's just building it from the 7 o'clock position, no, from 5:30 position. Oh boy, I'm just desperately trying to build terrace here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Once Stats gets 2 or 3 more carriers, this campaign will just be so easy to break out with his carriers and his ground army.
Yeah, I think there were actually 2 Goliaths with the initial push, but they must have died in the first battle there on the bridge. Obviously,
really?
BB-Young is just going to start making as many Goliaths as he can right now to try to deal with the carriers. Normally you see Protoss players save up their carriers until they have a few more, or at least have a lot of interceptors on them, but Stats saw that there was no anti-air and he moved in immediately with them, even only having a couple interceptors, and was able to pick at the units before there was any anti-air at all. So skipping the element of surprise there and just going for a few early kills with the carriers was probably the right decision. There are a few Goliaths out now.
Oh my god.
Stats BB-Young going for a weird drop there and losing the dropship to a cannon. Really sloppy play there. Didn't have to do that. I think he'll get a couple of probes there anyway from that vulture. But what needs to happen now is he needs to make a lot of turrets in the middle. He needs to be able to cement the position that he's in and be able to push towards the third base. BB-Young needs a lot of carriers, a lot of Goliaths before he's able to deal with that carrier fleet. Even though it's only 4 carriers, I believe, right now. He's going to need to be very careful, making sure that he has a lot of Goliaths in the position where the carriers are.
Yeah, and take a look at Stats' army here. It's very, very mobile. Carriers with rivers. That's a very, very mobile army. You can use the carriers to attack the Terran player, and meanwhile just drop the river underneath it. So when the Goliaths come, they're just picked off by the rivers. That's what exactly Stat is doing here. Carrier with rivers. Awesome build. Although, but Boyan has pushed up to Stats natural expansion here. Looks like this is going to be a base trade, but Stats definitely has the advantage here. He has his third base going, and he's, oh my god, he just lost the shuttle. That's not good. And he has his third base going, and he has his natural main expansion buying, and he's building up his carrier mount. But he loses rivers. It will be a little bit harder for him to kill the Terran with a lot of Goliath.
Yeah, Stats just completely sucking his natural there. I'm not sure how wise of a decision that was, and losing both of his reavers, I think, and the shuttle, he's not going to be able to defend his third base with anything other than carriers. So if BB-Young is able to get a lot of Goliaths together and push towards the third base, the Goliaths are going to be able to keep the carriers away, and if he can just squeak a few vultures into that base and shut down mining there, then Stats is only going to be mining on one base. Obviously, BB-Young wasn't mining from his main base for a while there. He has resumed now, but If BBon can get a third base, then I would love to see him do that. I'm not sure if he has one at the 5 o'clock yet, but if he can do that, he's going to be ahead economically and just be able to make enough Goliaths to be able to deal with the carriers.
Yeah. But the problem for Boyan here is that the carry count is gradually getting larger and larger. It has gotten a point of that is a critical mass here. And the street tank going for a third base here. Oh, that's very not wise of Boyan here. He's just going to die to the carriers because the rush distance between Stat's third base and Boyan's main expansion is so close. He can just defend the base and attack almost at the same time. That's how good it is. And it looks like the third base is getting harassed by one Zella. It has not been mining for some time. And the natural expansion has mined out for Boyan here. And Boyan is I will say his chance on running slimmer and slimmer here. And the Terra is just getting picked off alone. He needs his Goliath out of his front. But most of the Goliaths was just coming right now because they were defending against the carriers. I think carrier is just so mobile in this map. It's very, very hard for the Terran players to be able to defend against. And two more carriers coming.
Yeah, I'm actually an idiot. Ignore everything I said before. BB is almost mining nothing at this point, having mined out his natural and losing the command center his main. He's going to transfer most of his SCVs to his third base, and that's pretty much going to be his only mining for now. I'd imagine he's going to float his natural over into his main. And actually, a lot of carriers out right now. A DT actually dragging a few mines into a bunch of Goliaths there. Not enough Goliaths out right now to be able to deal with all the carriers that are out. I think at this point, Stats can pretty much just engage and start picking up the Goliaths. And once all the Goliaths are gone, then BBR is just going to have to leave the game.
Yeah, look at Goliaths count, just like 5 Goliaths, 4, 3. Oh my god, more mine jag into Goliaths. Only 3 Goliaths, 2 Goliaths, 1 Goliath, and GG. Like you said, once the Goliath count ran out, this is the time for GG. Awesome GG timing. And KT has won 3-1. But if CJ's Snow and Lita can win the next 2 games, they can still bring this into the 8th match and maybe win against Flash, but it's going to be very, very hard.
Yeah, the next 2 maps are La Mancha and Aztec. So KT's decision now is whether they send out Flash in the next game or the game after that. And what CJ has to do is try to get Snow out against Flash. And Snow, being the best versus Terran player on the team, is going to have to try to take down Flash. I'm trying to be optimistic here for CJ. If Snow can beat Flash, then in the other game, Lita would presumably be playing against either Perfective or Crazy Hydra, which is his best matchup. So if Snow can beat Flash, and that is a big if, then CJ should, I believe, be able to bring this to a 3-3. Obviously, it's going to depend on which players get matched up against who, and whether the players on CJ can play their best in those games to be able to bring this to 3-3. And at that point, it's going to be on the 8th match will be on New Empire of the Sun, which is a fairly Terran favored map. So even in that situation, I think Flash is going to be just in a dominant position to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, what CJ has got to hope for here is that they can hope for Flash to pause before he press PP. I remember seeing that game, and then if you don't know, if you pause before you type PvP, you actually instantly lose the game. That's a rule. You have to type PvP before you pause. Anyways, I'm going to move a mouse right now, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Not gonna run this time.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not running. Apparently, it's a marathon between the 2 computers in Eden's house.
That's all.
So, just gonna walk over to his other computer and move the mouse. Apparently, it's blocking the stream, so apologize about that. It's kind of awkward having a mouse just in the middle of the way. I'm completely surprised by CJ's performance in these games. Not just today, but yesterday as well. I going into this game, I was completely confident that CJ would be able to stomp KT. I was saying that it was going to be 4-2 both nights for CJ and just be able to go on to the finals against SKT. But that has not happened at all. KT's been getting the best of the matchups, and KT's players have just been playing better than CJ's players have been playing. So KT have been earning the wins, really. It hasn't been cheese at all. Most of the cheese just been coming from CJ. So good job from KT uh, playing as well as they can and trying to get to the finals. Last year's finals were SKT versus KT, and there were some pretty good games there. KT ended up coming up short last year. Obviously, a rematch is going to be pretty exciting to see, and see if KT can uh, rewrite that and try to get first place this year instead of the second place that they got last year. A bit disappointing for them last year. This year, obviously, they have lost a couple players. I'm not sure if KT's lineup is quite as strong as it was last year, but with the addition of new players like Action and Crazy Hydra, and also some upcoming players like Barracks and Perfective, KT will have a good chance of beating SKT as well as CJ does. So either way, I think it's going to be a good finals. No crazy luck teams getting into the finals, which is kind of nice. It's a nice format in that sense that bad teams really have no chance of getting to the finals. You really need a deep team. You need great players on your team, and just because of the way that teams are seeded into the higher parts of the playoffs, just really favors the better teams getting through.
All right, I'm back. What's up, guys?
What's up? Just enjoying some K-pop.
No. I'm gonna delete the 2 videos in my stream. Too many videos. Delete it. Yes.
Hypnotoading is actually calling me out, saying that Snow has no chance versus Flash. And I don't think that's completely accurate. Snow has really, really good PBT. Obviously, Flash will be the favorite in that game if that is what happens. But I wouldn't completely write Snow off right now. He is a very good player. He has very good PBT. He has beaten very good Terran players before. I think he's actually beaten Flash before. Don't quote me on that. I haven't actually checked that, but Snow is CJ's best bet right now, I think. Sky High is the other option, but Sky High's TBT isn't even that good lately. Used to be really good, but I think at this point, Snow is the best chance for CJ to beat Flash. And beating Flash is what they have to do now. They have to beat Flash twice, actually. And then another player who I would imagine would be either Perfected or Crazy Hydra. So not looking good for CJ. They still have a small chance, but just hoping for some epic games.
Yeah, just hoping for some epic games. We see the OSL Flash has beaten the best PVT Stork, best PVTer, arguably Stork, in like a fashion. And I think it will be very, very hard for Snow to pull a win against Flash here. But let's hope for epic games at least. And they still have Lita too. Oh, Captain America in the back, is it? Yeah, Captain America.
So actually, Snow has played Flash 4 times before. And he's only 1-3 against him, and his only win against Flash was in the 09-10 Pro League, so quite a while ago. So Snow, obviously, like I said, not the favorite in that match, but I do believe he's the best chance that CJ has of staying in this game.
Yeah, but Lita has pretty good TVT too. You might give it a shot as well. Flash has shown some weakness in his TVT rather than any other matchup, so maybe Lita will have a chance.
I don't really agree with that statement. I think Flash over 70% in every matchup, and I believe he's actually about 75% in TBT.